they meet with fat before? And when you come to the fat area, what happened to the fire? What happened? And the entire neighborhood will know that you are burning what? You are roasting what? They know you have killed an animal. Because the sweet smelling savour will fill everywhere. It comes from the fat. And this sweet smelling savour is what God eats. That is what brings him into fellowship. So if you want to have a communion with God upon an altar, you must bring a sacrifice that has fat. So that when you kindle the fire upon the altar, it will burn brighter. And the smoke and the sweet smelling savour will rise unto heaven. And the Father will partake of the things of that altar. And he will begin to work on your behalf. You can see why what he brought, God honored him. He brought an instrument of fellowship. He brought the part that he can burn on the altar and stand there. When the sweet smelling savour rises unto heaven, he will never leave that altar until the fat thereof is burnt. He will never desert the altar. Whenever he brings this thing, he stands in worship of the Father. The smell takes over everywhere. There is a presence of God that this fat altar brings. So today, you now know what causes the difference. He brought a good offering that has what? Fat. And the fat thereof is the food of God. This is the one that burned on the altar. Nobody takes it. It shall be burnt on the altar as a sweet smelling what? Savour. That sweet smelling savour is for who? It's for God. In contrast, what did Abel bring? All of us know. What did he bring? He bring corn. Hello. He bring grain. You gotta call it emwaluje. You put it in the plate and you bring it. When you bring corn, what do you do with it? No, if you bring corn to the presence of God as an offering, what do you do with it? Contrast that with what Abel bring. When you pour a corn on fire, what happened? I said, what happened? Did corn have fat? Where is the food of God in the corn? So the moment he lightened up his fire and poured the corn therein, you know what happened? Would that be sweet smelling savour? Would that be sweet smelling savour? From this early time, this man called Abel has known the part of sacrifice that God take pleasure in. The fat is of God. There is no fat in corn. So when he burns it, he does not require you to stand there. Are you hearing me? When you pour it, it does not require you to stand there. There is nothing that you don't burn like fire, and the fire is scattered on his face. Abel's offering did not elicit communion. Abel is like so many of us in the church today. When we come before God, we do not seek to satisfy him. We do not seek to please him. We do not seek to bring an offering that is a sweet smelling savour unto him. There is no gift in our offering to God. We just bring it to satisfy religion. The tradition of burning something on altar is all Abel came to do. He did not seek anything more than fulfilling that tradition that his father showed him. You burn things to God. how, what is a part of this offering that God cherished? That is not his business. You just come before him and you want to just bring your faith that seeks to pull God to bless you, and he has to do it quickly so that you can go back to your business. The fellowship has to be snappy so that you can go back to your home. The fellowship has to be short so that you can return to your wife and your husband. The fellowship has to be short so that you can go and eat your food. It is not what is in this food for God. You have no business waiting upon this altar to see if God have a food in that offering. No. There was nothing inside for God. And they say, bring your gift before God. You just throw in an offering. Not as real gift, but as religion. You just throw in your tithe, take, make I rest. God has said, you can be very deadly if I did not bring this. Even maybe a dash. And because of that fear, you brought your tithe. That is not what God is looking for. He's seeking those who really want a relationship with him in everything you are bringing. That is the sole purpose. Be it offering, what is in it for God? Do your offering pull you to stay in his presence? Do your tithe bring you to know him more? Are you really seeking to know him? Or you just want to fulfill this obligation so that he can leave you alone to get more money and acquire wealth? Is that what you are looking for and you call faith? That is no faith. We have become manipulators of God. And to our disadvantage, we lack knowledge and we walk in ignorance. Because if we know this God, we will know that he reads the mind. He is the only God that can analyze your heart. He knows exactly the kind of faith that you are bringing to him. That's why that faith is not working. He knows what is your real motive in coming to his presence. He knows he's all about what he can give you to what you have classified faith before him. When you close your eye and you are singing to him, he knows it's not because you love him, but because you are looking for something. Take that thing away, you will run away from his presence. Let him delay in giving you that thing, and you will deny him to his face. That is what we call faith of this generation. That is no faith. That is the difference between Abel and Cain. In the offering of Cain, there was desire for fellowship. There was desire to give God something. He knows what God loves in that offering. So he goes to his farm to seek the one that will please God. And he discovered that in burning any sacrifice on the altar, the one that pleases God is the fat thereof that rises up to him as a sweet smelling savour. That came way later when God began to speak to the children of Israel. But Abel knew from the discourse. I used to walk with him. He shows me things I know. He gives me insight into the workings of the universe. He empowers me to name everything. This God that I'm talking about, you need to be with him. You need to walk with him. When I was with him, there was no cloth. When I was with him, I do not suffer. When I was with him, there is no need. He tells this story to his children. And this began to excite his children to the point that Abel said, I'm not going to be performing this ritual of attempting to commune with this father just for religion. I want to know this God like my parents know him. I want, when I bring an offering onto my altar, I want to have that kind of relationship that my father had and mother had with him in the Garden of Eden. I don't want them to be, I'm tired of this story. It's too good to listen to. It's too good. It has become a fantasy. I want to see the reality of this relationship with this God. Abel Abel began to yearn for this fellowship. So he began to seek the things that he will bring to God and make God commune with him. Make God rise up to him. Make God show him things. But for Abel, he just want to fulfill the altar requirement and go back to his farm and go back to seek his own. He want to just settle God. Let me settle this God and let him leave my back. God, take and leave me alone. He's different from God. I am here. I want to know you. What will you have me bring? What will you have me do? There is more to the relationship that I want from you. I'm not talking about the things of this world. No, they are too cheap and they are too temporal for me. All I want is you. God said, no, let me give you cars. Let me give you, forget about car, God. I want to know you. I want to walk with you. There is so much to know about you that I don't care about the things of this world. That is a faith that Jesus is looking for. Today, you know, when you come before God as a living sacrifice and you put yourself on the altar, what is that fat that you have that will bring a sweet smelling savour in you before God? What is that? What is that? What is it that you are bringing to the altar that God can partake on? What is that fragrance that you are bringing to him that will not even allow you to return to what you are doing? You are not so concerned about the world. And every day you seek to know him, the more you detach from the world, the more you know him, the more you leave the world. Hebrew 11:5. Enoch, this man also enjoyed close fellowship with the Lord. In fact, his communion with God was so intimate that the Lord translated might have ended. And it's written there in Hebrews chapter 11.